You're watching all the build-up and reaction. Hearts, Aberdeen in the Scottish Cup semi-final.
There we go then. Very good morning to you and welcome to the locker room. I don't know about you, Reagan, but I feel as though I've not been to my bed. And
No, definitely no.
Because we've been up all night preparing for this show. Yeah, welcome to the show. Big Scottish Cup action. 12:30 kickoff. It's Hearts against Aberdeen live at Hampden Park. But also we've got live build-up of the game here, and also your reaction after the 90 minutes. So you know what to do. Get your comments in the chat and we will get your comments soon. Joined as always by Reagan. How are you?
I'm not bad, Michael, and I've got the Aberdeen team for you right here.
Oh, well done. Off the block right away. So Reagan has standing by with the Dons lineup today.
Yeah, we were talking to Robbie yesterday, Robbie Henry, and he was saying who would play in the sticks for Aberdeen. Would it be Mitov or would it be Doohan? And I can tell you, Michael, it's Mitov. Mitov is back for Aberdeen in the semi-final. The Aberdeen team is Mitov, Dorrington, Shirley, Clarkson, Palversa, Morris, Nisbet, Gay, Niskanen, Knocker. Yes, we're actually the Aberdeen team is Mitov, Jensen, Dorrington, Knocker, Shirley, Clarkson, Palversa, Morris, Niskanen, Nisbet, and Gay. A pretty strong team for Aberdeen, Michael.
Yep, and also we'll bring you the Hearts team as soon as we get it. But yeah, I mean, what's your reaction to that team, Reagan?
Strong team. I'm a big fan of Alfred Dorrington as well. I'm also a big fan of this two up front. The Aberdeen managers went with because I tell you, Nisbet's a goal scorer, but so is that Papa Gay as well. He's a good player. I like him and I like Morris as well. Think he has a bit of value as well. And I like the midfield of Paul Versa, Clarkson, and Niskanen as well. Because Niskanen's got a lot of drive, and as we spoke about yesterday, he's got that kind of something special, and I think that's when he was took off against Rangers, that kind of stopped Hearts from doing. That kind of stopped Aberdeen from what they were looking to do against Rangers. As Robbie said yesterday, it's sort of Aberdeen brought three strikers on the pitch, whereas if they were more solid and compact, I think they would have seen it through. But fair play to Rangers for getting that shot away and a great goal by Hadji. Michael, I think in terms of the Aberdeen team, I think it's the expected lineup, but it's great to see that Aberdeen are going for it as well because they've got that experience as well of being there so many times. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this match actually brings. I can actually bring you the Hearts team. It's Craig Gordon in goals. I don't know why they've got Shanklin playing left back in the lineup, but anyway, I'll try and separate that for you. The back four is McCart, Penrice, Spirinbinder, and Beningame. Devlin plays midfield. So does Wilson. So does Forrester, and so does George Grant. And up top for Hearts, you've got Shanklin plays, and he is the captain for today. And the striker for Hearts is Kabangu. So it's two strong lineups. I've also got the Hearts bench. for you, Michael. It's Alan Forrest, Nusa Smith, Craig Halkett. Also, sorry, Michael. Prentice playing too. So yeah, it's a pretty strong lineup for Hearts, and I'm just looking forward to the match.
Yeah, going back to the Aberdeen game, right? I written on the stars that Kevin Nisbet's going to score today because obviously you actually find that way a former player that's playing against his rivals. Of course, he was with Hibs and maybe with Aberdeen, and he was getting interviewed on the telly last night, and you would tell that he would love to score in the game today. Maybe the winning goal that would be nice for Nisbet.
Yeah, he's playing well in the Nisbet, and he scored last week, and it probably was unlucky for him that it just brushed his hand. But I think overall, I think it's a strong lineup from both teams. I'll just go through the Aberdeen team for you again, Michael, if you let me.
That's cool.
But it's I think it's going to be a strong match for both teams. But I'm looking forward to seeing what this Aberdeen team do as well, because the last time they were at Hampton, Michael, they got beat 6-0 by Celtic. So I'm hoping for an Aberdeen perspective that they can do pretty well. The Aberdeen team, I had it a second ago, but it just disappeared off my screen. It's just don't know why. It's just crashed here, but yeah, I mean, I think for Aberdeen, the big thing for them, Michael, is they've got match winners in their team. You look at Clarkson last week; he was involved in that brilliant free kick against Rangers. You look at Niskanen, who I've spoke about, and you look at the players that they've got up front as well. Nisbet and Papagay. Papagay scored last week, and he's in good form as well. And you look at the bench that they've got as well. They've got people like Sokla and Devlin to come off the bench as well. So I think that Aberdeen's got a great chance to do really well.
You would think from an Aberdeen point of view, you're hoping that there won't be any kind of like hangover for last week's performance, because as I said on the show last night, even though Aberdeen got a point, but it might have felt like a defeat because like they put a lot into that game.
Yeah, they did, and Aberdeen. Aberdeen are synonymous with winning trophies. I seen a snippet on the TV this morning of Alex Ferguson is in the stands at Hampden as a supporter of the club today. So that's great to see. It's good to see him back to great health, and he's going to be there today. So no, I'm looking forward to this match, and I think Aberdeen have got a great chance.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the team that you brought us here, I quite enjoyed watching Morris last week for Aberdeen, but also the veterans. Well, I say veterans, he's been there for a few years now. Traxton, but also the captain Shinnie as well.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point you make, because Aberdeen, I thought Morris I thought he gave the Rangers a kind of a torrid time last week. Felt like he really, even though Barry said he didn't, I think the young man that played for Rangers, I think he gave him a torrid time. But I predicted at the start of the season, Michael, as you know, in this show, I predicted that Aberdeen would win the Scottish Cup. Obviously, this time last year, as Robbie said, they went to penalties against Celtic, and Joe Hart took that penalty and missed it, and then Aberdeen missed it the follow up to the penalty. So I mean, I think the thing for Aberdeen at the moment, Michael, is I think they've got a pretty strong team, but I think it's all about trying to break up the dominance of Celtic. But I'm interested to see what you think about this matchup today. Like, well, obviously the midfield battle will be key, but I read out the midfield for Hearts, and it's Beningame and Devlin and James Wilson. So like, it's important that Aberdeen can really get a stranglehold of that, because if you look at Hearts as well, they've still got players that can really cause them problems, like James Wilson and obviously Shankland as well. He's not playing well this season, Michael, but he's still a good player, Shankland.
Yeah, I mean, even though that we've talked about him a lot on the show this season, Reagan, and he's not had a very good season, but he's one of these players that you never know, you know, you know, owning this could be in the position at the right time could kind of get a goal as well. So it's a big afternoon for him because and also to prove to the Hearts fans that he's still got it, Reagan, because he's not been the same player like sort of last season.
No, I think you're spot on there. And in terms of Shankland, he wants to go out there and show, because I'm sure. Well, I don't know for certain. I know Graham's at Hampden. I spoke to Graham this morning. He's in Glasgow right now. He enjoyed Peter Peter Kay last night at the Hydro. But I mean, in terms of Shankland, I don't think he'll be there next year. But it's important that he stamps his authority on the match, and like, even if he doesn't stay at the club, it's important that he tries to win a contract somewhere else.
I want to ask your opinion about another big afternoon for Kabangu, Reagan. I think he's a decent player, but also I think maybe, I don't know if you would agree with me here. I would put him in the same, maybe category with Dessers, and I know people might be shouting, "Well, why are you putting him in the same category?" But I just feel as though that he misses too many good chances in front of goal.
I would agree with you, Michael. I would agree with you. I think he's a good player, Kabangu, but it's been fits and starts so far this season. I watched him up close at Celtic Park, and he started the game well. He did, fair play to him, but I think that in terms of what they're trying to do, there needs to be there needs to be a more level of trying to do it on a more regular basis. I can bring in that Aberdeen team again, Michael. It's Mitov,
Yeah.
Dorrington, Jensen, Shunny, Clarkston, Palaversa, Morris, Nisbet, Neskinen, and Papagay. The subs for Aberdeen are doing Devlin, Jamie McGrath, Polavara, Dubrav, Okoex, and Boyd. For Hearts, thank you to Sky, because they've given me the lineup in chronological order. They've got Craig Gordon, Forrester, Spinevender, McCart, Penrice, Devlin, Beningame, Grant, Shankland, Wilson, and Kabangu. The sub for Hearts are Fullerton in goal, Stephen Kingsley, Craig Halkett, Spittle, Forrest, Cartoon, and Dabath. I think the Hearts bench is interesting, Michael, because you've still got a lot of players on that bench that could really impact the game. Someday I was looking at them, and I'm just looking at the lineups here on my computer. See Cartoon, he scored 2 great goals against Dundee in the quarter-final, so he's somebody that you can bring off the bench. You've also got somebody like Blair Spittle, who done really well for Motherwell last year. I know he's not hit the heights this season for Hearts, but he's still a good player.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, I think the bench is quite strong. Obviously, you've got Frankie Kent, you've got Halkett, you've got Forrest as well. Not James Forrest, Alan Forrest, and I think that if anybody's watching this, they might let us know, Reagan, that it would be interesting to know that what two brothers has played for the is playing for one of the teams in the semi final.
Yeah, Michael, I'm just doing a bit of research here, and I'm just looking back at some of my stuff here, and to my calculations, I think this is the first time that Jamie McGrath takes a place on the bench since January. He's not played since January, since that move to Easter Road was confirmed in January. So that's interesting that he's on the bench.
See the touching upon Aberdeen came from a minute, like Reagan, and I was saying to you about do you feel as though it's a defeat for Aberdeen last week because they put a lot into the game, and I mentioned to Robbie last night on the show about that as well. Do you think there's big learning points there for Jimmy Turlin, because obviously he took off Morris and he took off was it Shinnie last week in the game, and the point Papa Vera, sorry, and the point I was trying to make to Robbie was it's okay making these subs when you're like 3-1 up, but not 2-1, because 2-1s are kind of iffy. 2-1s are kind of like iffy score.
Yeah, I think the big omission today for Aberdeen fans would be Sokler's not even on the bench. I'll read you through the Aberdeen bench, Michael. You've got you have, if I can, yeah, there it is. Duhan, Devlin, McGrath, Polavara, Oakles, Millen, and Boyd. So you would probably say the Hearts bench is the stronger of the benches. Look at the Hearts bench of Halkett, Spittle, Forrest, Cartoon, and Ken, and the top F. So I think that's probably a stronger bench. Mike, I don't know if you agree with that.
Do you think it will help Hearts as well, Regan? I mentioned get also on the show last night that this is not a league game, and they can actually fully concentrate and get into a cup final, because last week was a bit disappointing going to Fir Park and not making the top 6.
Aye. I think Hearts. I think it's a big game for the manager, because I think if he doesn't win today, then he'll probably be sacked, because if you're getting Hearts in the bottom 6, Michael, and you don't make a final against Aberdeen, you think of this time last year, Hearts were playing against Rangers in the semi-final, and Stephen Naismith got a bit of slack for that when he got beat by Rangers. So I think in general, I think potentially he could be fired, because I'll listen to folk like Michael Stewart and people that know the club well, and they seem to think that he's under pressure, because if you look at the last couple of games that Hearts have had to make top 6, Dundee United at home and Motherwell away, you'd probably say they're favourable fixtures. Well, if you could have handpicked any fixture, you'd have probably said them, because if you look at teams like St Mirren are a good team at the moment, and even like I know people were doubting that St Mirren might get in top 6, but St Mirren have done that now for 3 years in a row, and Stephen Robinson does have total credit. I mean, St Mirren have done really well against Celtic this season, and they obviously took 6 points out of 6 against Rangers.
Neil Clitsy was saying this week, Reagan, that we were disappointed last week, but we need to put it we need to put it to our back of our minds. We have a big game this weekend. It's a good opportunity for us to get to the final. Aberdeen are a very good team, but they have an up and down season, and I suppose, Reagan, when Neil Clitsy says Aberdeen's had an up and down season, I would maybe say the same thing about Hearts as well. I would maybe say more downs than ups.
Yeah, it is, Michael, and I think in terms of Hearts, I mean, they've been pretty disappointed in what they're doing at the moment, because they'd be expecting to put up the higher echelons of the table. they wouldn't be expecting to be in 7th in the table. They'd be expecting to be higher up. I think the only way that he can keep his job is if he wins today and then he puts in a good showing in the bottom 6 and they win all the matches, because I don't really think that the Hearts fans are really buying into what he's offering. I think even when he was appointed, I was talking to a lot of Hearts fans and they were quite disappointed about his appointment. I know it was led by Tony Bloom and his analytics department at Brighton, but I think in terms of what he's actually done, I think they can be quite not happy with what the outcomes have been, because if you just, I mean, it's not as if Neil Chrisley's had only like 10 games to get his team going. He's had half of a European campaign where he probably should have made it through there as well. So there needs to be questions there to say, right, you clearly should have made it through European football, because that team, they were already out of Europe, the team they were playing, and they were bottom of the conference, the whole tournament. So it was another embarrassment for Scottish football that the Hearts weren't able to make it through. And also, I think any Hearts supporter that's watching this will openly tell you that they should have been in the top 6, especially with their budget, in terms of St Mirren and even teams like Ross uh, County and teams like that who have actually done very well this season. I think in terms of what you're saying there about Aberdeen, I think Aberdeen have actually had a very good season. I know it can be a bit blinkered because they started the season off to a flyer and people were thinking that they were going to do well against Celtic. But I think if you take this season in isolation, I think that if you said to, as I said the other day, if you said to an Aberdeen fan, right, take the season in isolation, you're in a semi final against Hearts and you're third in the table, you'd have taken that all day long. And it's only to the great work of David Gray over at the over in Edinburgh that really is stopping them from getting third. But David Gray's on a terrific run of 17 matches unbeaten at the moment. They're playing really well. And that's part of the reason why I think he should be in contention for the manager of the year. I said this yesterday about people are saying Brendan Rodgers, but I think Brendan Rodgers done a fantastic job, but he's not been challenged this year by Rangers. He's been 15 points ahead, and it's been very easy. But I even think if Aberdeen go on to win the Scottish Cup, then for me you're looking at is the Aberdeen manager in contention as well, because to get your first season in Scottish football and to do that with Aberdeen is great. I mean, the last manager to win a trophy for Aberdeen was Derek. I remember the final at Celtic Park. So I think in terms of what Aberdeen are trying to do, Aberdeen are trying to progress, and they've certainly done that this year. And like Robbie said yesterday, I think Aberdeen fans know I think they can see a direction under the new manager. But I think that they can see that the players are clearly enjoying it, and you've seen that with their passion that they had when they were playing Rangers last week. There was a little wee tussle at the end with Barry and John Stewart as well. So clearly they've got the fire back in their belly.
I know what you're saying about Hearts, like, but it's the same way that Celtic and Rangers. If you finish second, that means you're last, and I suppose it's the same in Edinburgh as well, because they haven't beat Hibs for a few games as well. But I want you to go back to your point, Regan, about analytics, right? And I remember us being on the show at the time when Tony Bloom came in and Neil Clitsy was appointed, and Graham said, well, yeah, I'm happy with that appointment. Obviously, he would have to say that because he's a Hearts fan. But looking at the games now, Regan, that's why we've got a wonderful phrase in football saying football's not plague and paper.
Yeah, because I think you can look at the the recruitment and say it's not been that great either. You know, I mean, I think the only kind of shining light for Hearts out the recruitment has been the big man up top. He's done well, you know. But apart from that, you couldn't always say that Mc, Mc, McCarter's been a great success. You can say he's done okay, but I wouldn't say he's been great. I mean, I think Cartoons, he scored 2 wonderful goals against Dundee in the last round, but apart from that, he's not really pulling up any trees. So I think there's question marks over the whole recruitment as well, and it'll be interesting to see if Hearts what they do. Do they try and um, go a new direction? Do they try and go a new direction and get a new manager in? Because as I said, I think if Hearts lose today, as I predicted last night, I think Aberdeen will win by 3 goals to 1. But I just feel that if Hearts don't win today, the fans will start to turn on Neil Chrisley because there's only so much you can put up with, and I think Hearts fans are quite fair, but they would expect their team to be in the top 6 of any top flight, and I think it makes it even worse for them because they're better rivals. The better rivals in Edinburgh are doing very well at the moment as well. So I think, and obviously for them as well as Graham has said to me and you before, their record in Edinburgh derbies over the past few it's not been great either. So I think if you're a Hearts supporter right now, you're just trying to any way just to try and get through this match.
Do you think that if we come back on the show about 2:30 and Hearts has won the game by 2 goals to 1 or 2-0 or 3-0, whatever the case may be, do you think that there'll be some supporters still behind Clitsy?
Oh, I think they'll definitely be behind them. I think they will be. I just think that if you look at all the big matches this season that he's competed in, he's failed. You know, I mean that UEFA club that they played in the Conference League, they were pretty low down in the Conference League, and like I said, they got a draw that game. I think it's 2-2. If I'm right in saying, Michael, in the Conference League, and
At
then you look at
home? Yeah.
yeah, and then you look at the Edinburgh derbies. The Edinburgh derbies have not been a good reading for them, and then their matches against Celtic and Rangers, they've not really pulled up any trees either. So I would sort of say that um, it's a big day. It's a big day for the players, but it's a massive day. It's a massive day for the manager if he's got any chance of having a future at the club.
And also, it's a brilliant opportunity and a big day for the opposite manager, Jimmy Tilling, because before he was at Hampden in the semi-finals, Reagan, they were winning, 13 games back-to-back. And ever since they went to Hampden and played Celtic, as I said, the wheels came off the bus a wee bit, but they started to kind of like turn the corner the last few weeks, including last week's game against Rangers, even though, as I say, it might feel that a defeat, but they put a lot of effort into that game.
Yeah, I thought they were great against Rangers. They actually controlled the game, even when Rangers were full. They had a full 11 players in the park. Aberdeen played really well. I don't know why they took Niskanen off. He was controlling the game so well, and then they took him off, and then in the last 20 minutes, Rangers kind of took a stranglehold of the whole match. But I think overall, I think Aberdeen will be pretty pleased how this season's went. I don't think they can really complain. After doing bottom 6 last year, I think it's been a big improvement. I think um, Aberdeen fans they clearly see where the club is going under Jimmy, and I think today would be a massive step to to for Aberdeen fans to get another trophy in that trophy cabinet up at Aberdeen because it's been too long, Michael, far too long.
Yeah, no, Jimmy Killing was saying yesterday, looking forward to the game. It's an important game. Hearts are a good team, but we are on a good run and we want to continue this into the cup final. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a weird game when you look at it, Reagan, right? Because even though it's two of the bigger teams in Scottish football, but as I said last week to you guys, that they're the two most inconsistent teams as well.
They are, because one week you can watch Aberdeen, and it's just great to watch. It's nice football. It's great. It's great on the eye. But the next week you're watching, and it's a struggle. So I think these teams, they need to get a bit more sustainability in their squad. But I think Aberdeen will have the edge today because they've got people like Graham Shinnie and obviously Meathoff as well. Because as Alistair, who's a St Johnson fan, he said last night, the way that Meathoff speaks the back four through the match is brilliant. Um, for people that didn't watch the match last week, also Dorrington won the man of the match for Aberdeen, and a centre back on loan from Spurs, and he's playing against the Michael, so he's been really good for Aberdeen. I don't know if they'll try and get him a permanent contract or Spurs will try and bring him back, but he seems to be doing really well for Aberdeen at the moment as well, and I think Aberdeen have got all the ingredients to do really well. But I think it's also a big day for people like Shankland as well, because he's no scored and he's no contributed much the past few matches. Obviously missed a great chance off the bench last weekend against Motherwell, but I'm looking forward to watching it today. And then I'll be right back on here at 2:30 to talk to you. So we've got a busy day ahead.
I think what you were talking about London Shankland, I mentioned about if Hearts win, some of the fans might get won over and nail clips as well, but it's also a big game for Lauren Shankland because if he scores that one goal, Regan, that the fans will be supporting him again. I'm not saying that they weren't supporting him, but they've been very frustrated watching them.
Yeah, and I think it's crazy because I was looking at a thing yesterday, and it was a year ago since the remember the Scotland No Party song.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it was a year since that came out, and Scotland were going to the Euros, and it's just crazy how the difference a year makes in terms of this time last year. Shankland was in great form, he was playing really well, and people were saying he should be starting for Scotland. So it just shows you how quickly football can change.
Yeah, some guy used to say Reagan football's a funny old game, and as I mean,
Uh,
if you ask if you ask any of the supporters by Aberdeen or Hearts in December, they'll be thinking, well, we're not going to make the semi-finals because we're two inconsistent teams as well.
oh, they are, but I think that's why it's got all the ingredients of a brilliant game, because both teams have got match winners in their team. Like I said earlier, Clarkston um, and Morris, Palaversa, and Nisbet. They've got so many options there, Aberdeen. And same with Hearts, they've got young Scottish talent, James Wilson, as well. So I really think it's going to be a cracker. I'm looking forward to it, Michael. So, yeah, I just think it's going to be a cracking game for Scottish football, and hopefully they can put on a show.
I think the only disappointing thing you would say maybe to the Aberdeen fans as well is like and I know Paul Donaldson is going to the game today that why it's the kickoff because obviously the Aberdeen fans are struggling to get down. I know that I spoke to Robbie on the show last night and he's back he's back up and staying in Aberdeen after a while out of kind of like Aberdeen, but he was saying that he had to come down last night and stay over. So that's kind of that's kind of more money for football fans because like they've got to stay overnight. It's okay for Hearts fans because obviously they're 20 minutes away along the M8 and good on Hearts for selling out the end today, but disappointing for Aberdeen. Well, not disappointing for Aberdeen, but there'll be a battle like how it's a kind of early kick-off 12:30. They could get easier than we get 2:30.
Yeah, I mean, they probably could have, but I think there's probably reasons for it. I don't know why. We know that Premier Sports have shown the match, so they've probably got a stranglehold of what they can and can't do. I know Premier Sports in Ireland show a 3 o'clock Premier League game down south because they've not got the same rules as we've got the 3 o'clock blackout. So I think it's probably got something to do with that, I would say. But yeah, I think it will still be a good crowd down there. But I'm looking forward to actually watching the game and seeing two great teams going for it because, like I said earlier, I think there's match winners in both teams, and I think it's got all the makings of a great game.
Yeah, well, I would maybe back that. I would maybe back your point up there, Reagan, and say that the game's on BBC as well, and on Plymouth. But it's just to back up and keep everybody happy. As it were, Reagan, in this Easter weekend. But yeah, I mean, it'll be a good gag for the game, and as I say, because that the two inconsistent teams, I would say it makes for a very kind of open game.
Yeah, I mean, people. I was going to make a Easter joke there, saying it was going to be an excellent performance from
Oh
both
yeah,
teams.
York in there.
Yeah, I mean, people could say it's going to roll down the hill. A few of these goals, but I mean, I think I was looking at Hampden the other day when um, Neil Lennon was there with the Dunfermline against Queen's Park, and he says that the pitch was in great nick as well. So I'm just looking forward to watching the match and seeing whether hopefully the pitch is in great condition. I don't know what it'll be like for tomorrow when I'm going there to watch the match St Johnstone against Celtic. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Hampden's like. But I'm just looking forward to another chapter being written in Scottish football.
Yeah, no, exactly, and I suppose that from an Aberdeen point of view, for a minute, we'll touch upon Hearts in a minute, but they'll be looking to get one step closer because, as I said, that day at Hampden against Celtic, they would want to forget about.
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of what Aberdeen are trying to do, um, Aberdeen are synonymous with Scottish trophies and are synonymous with doing well in Scottish football, and they'll be looking to get back to that because it's been far too long for them. But I think the big thing for them this season is they've got a genuine belief in what they can do this season. And I think that's the big difference over the past few years. And I'm not being disrespectful to Celtic here as well, but I think if Aberdeen are watching Celtic closely over the past few weeks, there's been a few chinks in Celtic's armour the past few weeks that Aberdeen can go right. If we are playing Celtic on the 24th of May, then we know that there's some places where we can get Celtic. So I think Aberdeen have just looking to try and make sure that they get through to that final on the 24th of May.
And as for Hearts, like you said about Aberdeen, but it's been a long time since Hearts. It's been in this kind of like position, and okay, everybody, and we kind of said, and you kind of alluded to there that it's been a disappointing season, and it should still be a kind of good season in one sense that they can avoid a relegation and being in the cup final. But in saying that, a lot of Hearts fans might still be a bit annoyed because if Hearts are in the final in the bottom six, I don't think most Hearts fans would buy that because of the kind of like fan base of Hearts and like the team they've got.
I think they would take the final if they go on to win it. A bit like Spurs and Man United. I mean, Man United are sitting 14th in the table, but potentially they're going to be in the Europa League final. So I think if Hearts go on to win it, then it would be a fantastic achievement because the last time they won was that famous 5-1 uh, victory against the local rivals,
Yep.
5-1 in the final. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what we can really muster up today. Um, I don't know who the referee is, but I hope he manages to not be too aggressive and send players off because you want to see um, you want to see both teams really uh, going heel for leather at each other and doing really well. I think what the advantage um, in terms of what you were talking about Hearts, they've managed to sell their allocation out, so that's great for them as well. Do you think that might be a potential advantage, or maybe not?
I think in these kind of games, Reagan, it kind of the first goal was off a crucial in these kind of games. But yeah, I mean, going back to your point about the Hearts support, I think that will be a 12 man to Hearts. I've got no, I don't know how many tickets Aberdeen sold for today.
I think
Um,
it's about I think it's about 18,000 they've sold.
Yeah, well, I mean that's still wait a kind of like decent support. Um, just to answer your point, Reagan, the ref today is John Beaton.
Oh, yep. I think John Beaton's actually done quite well the last couple of games. I watched him last week at Celtic Park. Um, I think he's done okay. I would say at the moment our best referee is probably Nick Walsh. But yeah, John Beaton's a capable referee and he'll be hoping that he can stake his claim for the final and hopefully he's not the talking point but by the end of this match.
And if you're interested on it, the video assistant ref is Greg Aitken. So there you go, Greg Aitken and John Beaton in the middle. But yeah, I mean, going back to your point, Reagan, about the Hearts, and do you think that the fans will be a kind of 12 man? I do think, yeah, but I'll be interested to see if Aberdeen scores first and how the team reacts, but also how the support reacts as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping when I'm watching Premier Sports later, Michael, that I can see Graham on the telly. That's what I'm hoping for. I just hope I can see Graham on the telly. But no, it'll be great to watch. Um, I think it will be a 12 man, but I think also Aberdeen's quality on the pitch will have something to say as well. Like I said earlier, they've got players like Morris, Clarkston, Palversa, Niskanen and Nesbitt. So they've got all these options that can win a game single handedly. I'm looking forward to see if they can get through. And the same with Hearts, you know, I'm looking to see if a potential um, James Wilson can really write himself into Hearts folklore and Scottish football folklore by potentially getting the winner in a big match.
There you go. So that is. Before we go, Reagan, have you got the team lines to hand just in case people kind of just joining us for the Hearts Aberdeen game this afternoon?
Yeah, I'll try and find it for you just now, Michael. That's fine.
Yeah, kicking off in 15 minutes time. I'll be a good occasion for these kind of like fans, and I'm looking forward to a good game, but I'm looking forward to a decent atmosphere as well.
Oh, will be, Michael. If you look at this atmosphere, it's going to be sold out, and I think in terms of tomorrow, it's great to see that Celtic have been allocated more tickets as well, because it means that there's going to be a great atmosphere in both occasions. And then you're kind of hoping that if whoever it is between Hearts and Aberdeen, you're hoping that they kind of sell their allocation at Hampden as well for the final. I can give you the Hearts team. It's Craig Gordon in goal, back four of Forrester, Sprangler, McCart and Penrice, Devlin and Beningame are your midfield with Grant and Wilson, and a front two of Lawrence Shangland and Kamangu. Your substitutes for Hearts are Stephen Kingsley, Craig Halkett, Spittle, Forrest, Cartoon, and DeBath. Your Aberdeen team is Michael Meathoff in goal. His first start for a long time. Jensen, Dorrington, Kobila, Shuddy, Clarkson, Palaversa, Morris, Nisbet, Neskinen, and Gay. The subs for Aberdeen are Duhan, Devlin, McGrath, Polavara, Debath, Ockles, and Millen and Boyd. And your match referee today is John Beaton. So
There you go. So that's a team there. So we'll be back at 2:30. If the game doesn't go to extra time on penalties. So that was the preview show. We'll be back at 2:30. Could look back
Michael, have
in
you-
the 90 minutes.
Michael, have you got a prediction? Because I know I stuck my neck on the line. I said 3-1 to Aberdeen. I'm going to go with the first goal scorer of Jaden Morris.
Yep. I will go the same as you, but I will change a wee bit and go 2-0 Aberdeen.
Have you got
There you go.
a first goal scorer?
Jagan Morris. That's what I said.
Oh, I said Jaden Morris as well.
I know.
think you're just copying me.
No. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and we'll be back at 2:30 with looking back at the 19 minutes of the first Scottish Cup semi-final between Aberdeen and Hearts.
You're watching all the build-up and reaction. Hearts, Aberdeen in the Scottish Cup semi-final.